Hi, my name's Jules, and I'm the Dawdling writer. And I wanted to start a new series today, one that I think I'm going to be calling Industry Reads, where I'm going to be reading books about publishing, books about writing, and maybe books about blogging as well. And so I wanted to go ahead and outline my TBR shelf, my to be read shelf, for each of those sort of categories. And so today will be Industry Reads Episode 1, my TBR shelf for books on publishing. Before we jump into it today, don't forget to leave me a like if you enjoy it. Give me a comment. Let me know which of these books you are interested in seeing me read next. Let's just jump into it. I wanted to give you sort of an overview of the one that I'm currently reading, as well as some of the others and my thought process behind why I chose them. But in general, I sort of collect all these books because I want to research about everything about the industry and what are the tips and tricks and the advice that all the professionals can give me. Like, I need all the help I can get. So if you're going to give me advice, I will gladly take it. It's just kind of the how-tos and the different perspectives from different people, because not everybody has the same experience going into the publishing industry. Not everybody has the same experience when you're writing or blogging. And so the different perspectives that you gain from reading other people's account, each process of being published or writing or whatnot, is very fascinating to me. So I am currently reading, I'll pop up here, the current read that I'm working on is Author in Progress by Therese Walsh as the editor, and it's a collection of essays and sort of personal accounts of novelists, of editors and agents, and how they go through. So they have it chopped up into sections of like what should be your mentality when you first get started versus when you're in the thick of it, or when you are marketing yourself and your work. And so that how you self-care, how you edit, how you go through the publishing process. And so it's just all these different people's perspectives. And so it's kind of a nice, interesting read. The essays are relatively short, so it's something that you can read relatively easily in short snippets. So I'm currently reading that one. And then I always try and get the Writer's Market, the annual edition. Sometimes I spring for the deluxe edition, but sometimes I just get the regular. And it is the sort of like the definitive massive tome. It has a collection of publishing houses, of agents, and sort of when they accept submissions, their favorite kind of submissions, genre-wise, where you can submit, whether it's by mail, by email, whatever, through their website, that kind of thing. And so it's an interesting resource for when you are eyeing traditional publishing. But they also have contests and awards for writing competitions. Another one that I'm interested in reading and is on my to-read shelf is the How Not to Write a Novel. And the majority of the book is about the writing process, and so that technically is on my TBR shelf for books on writing. But they do have a section in there on how not to sell a book. And so that's kind of I'm reading that section in particular for the publishing industry side of things. And it just kind of goes over refining your book pitch, making sure you've got your edits for typos and all that kind of stuff. How to query, or specifically how not to query, since they are sort of that backwards approach to things. The next book that's on my list is The Insider's Guide to Publishing by David Comfort, and I've read a couple of the essays that are in this particular book already, but it's hilarious. The humor is fantastic. And so it's got a few stories about historical authors and their approach to publishing, whether they were drunk, their silly sort of like adventures on the way to being published or while they were publishing. But it also has advice and tips and tricks from agents and editors about the process of querying and getting published, as well as their opinions, and sort of an interesting discussion on the 21st century new alternatives to traditional publishing. But it's all done kind of tongue-in-cheek in a lot of the essays, and so it's been interesting so far. So that one and Author in Progress are my two current reads. Then I have several books that are related to the Amazon publishing. So one of them is a 4-in-1 massive book. It's called Self-Publishing with Amazon. It's by Chris McMullen. It is very much sort of like a technical textbook on how to set up your documents, whichever format you're using, whether it be Word or something else, but how to use your word processor to format your document and get it ready to self-publish. But it also has sort of introductions to marketing with Amazon, the differences of the steps you have to take if you are doing it electronically versus if you are doing a print on demand, or if you are going to go ahead and order like a batch of books to be physically printed. And there's also some articles from successful self-published authors, but it's massive. The next one is How to Publish a Book from Amazon, Real Advice from Someone Who's Doing It Well, and this is by Sam Kern. He has a whole series on working from home and being successful in the writing sphere, but he does tend to lean towards self-publishing and freelance work. So reading him with that sort of caveat, he does this series of how-tos in the book. So how to look and see what genres are selling well, so which genres should you sort of categorize your book as, or which genres should you write in if you are specifically writing for profit. The pros and cons of pre-releasing your book or sales for your book. What do you do after you publish the first book in regards to marketing, and then how you continue to write. I think his will be interesting in regards to business aspect of writing. The next one, Kindle Best-Selling Publishing by Gabrielle Gundi. And it's supposed to help you create that schedule and set up the steps for publishing on Kindle. So the timeline for when you need to do each thing by, and like helping you figure out what SEO terms you need to attach to your book in the metadata, to make sure that it climbs the Kindle best-selling list, as well as decisions on prices like loss leaders or not, and what kind of royalties you should expect, that kind of thing. And so it seems like it's going to be a nice checklist, and I'm hoping that it sort of, with the course that I've been taking, as well as Mandy Lynn's the book launch planner, that will set me up for having a much clearer idea of what to do when. The next couple books I have are on marketing and growing your audience. And this next book is also by Gabrielle Gundi. And it's The Sassy Way to Social Media Marketing When You Don't Have a Clue. And so it has a series of strategies for monetizing your social media platforms and expanding the reach of those same social media platforms. And it has strategies specific to YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and Facebook, which are some of the biggest ones at the moment. I'm not sure you can count Snapchat and TikTok as marketing opportunities just yet, but I fully expect that there is probably going to be some sort of marketing how-to books, including those two. And then I have the Grow Your Author platform from Mandy Lynn and Bethany Atazada. I think is how you say her name. I keep mispronouncing it. I'm going to get it right one of these days. And I just got this book, and so I'm excited to read this. But it's the second of 3 books on marketing for authors. And this particular one is supposed to include tips on how to utilize the traffic that goes to your website to generate book sales, to market your books through email, newsletters and things, through blogs, through YouTube, and through Pinterest. Pinterest? Apparently that's a plural now. And then by Sam Kearns, I have the How to Build a Writing Empire in 30 Days or Less. And so it's geared towards authors who also take freelance jobs. So it's kind of like a dual aspect book. And so it has suggestions for rebranding your writing business to attract the right kind of customers that you want, which I'm hoping that I will be able to use to sort of frame how I brand the Dawdling writer and then my own writing for the ideal reader. It includes suggestions for creating business routines and optimizing your writing time, making yourself much more efficient. And it has specified steps for the first couple of days, weeks, and then the month. The next sort of category that I have is for books that are focused on making a living as a writer. So the first one in the category is Writers for Hire, 101 Secrets to Freelance Success by Kelly James Inger. And so it has a bunch of strategies for creating a writing routine and helping you manage deadlines, how to query successfully, how to network and handle rejection. And it also includes some advice on taxes and invoicing for when you are self-employed, which I have not had to do yet. So that is definitely going to be a help for when I get to that point. The next book is Scratch, Writer's Money and the Art of Making a Living. And it's by Manjula Martin, another collection of essays and articles, but it's by modern authors, and the topics range from like MFA programs, are they worth it, to teaching fellowships. Can you make enough money? Do you have enough time to do your own writing outside the teaching? What does success look like to each of the individual authors who contributed? So it has, again, that multiple perspectives that I find so nice when getting advice from other authors and publishers. The next book is Write and Grow Rich, Secrets of Successful Authors and Publishers. And it's by several authors: Alinka Rutkowska, Adam Hogue, Alexa Bigworth, Amy Collins, Caitlin Pyle, Claire Diaz-Ortiz, Christine Closure, Daniel Hall, Diana Kozik, and Derek Dopeker. It has 24 authors who are all sharing their perspective on things. And they are specific to, their advice is specific to how you go from writing a book to making a successful career. So they each share advice that they wish they had gotten when they were first starting out, tips on coping and self-care, and what they consider the necessary business skills that you need in order to make your career successful, as well as profitable and sustainable. Then I have a couple of books on publishing on a budget. The first one is How to Self-Publish for Under $100. And I was very fascinated by this title, so I grabbed it. And it's by Cinquanta Cox-Smith, and it is a guide with tips and tricks to utilizing the SEOs, discounting prices, choosing the right category for your book, and marketing through blogs and endorsement deals. And this book is geared towards authors who are considering Amazon, but it does have some information on publishing outside of Amazon. So I'm excited to read that one and see how I can do it on the cheap. And then the next one is Find Readers and Sell Books on a Shoestring Budget. And this is by Rob Eager. And it's geared for those who want to publish on Amazon again with that small budget. And so he outlines the pros and cons of using Amazon ads or Facebook ads. Are they worth it? How many people can they reach? How to improve the keywords and ad copy wording. How you can attract email subscribers, encourage word of mouth, And he talks about the importance of book launches and book reviews. So those are my industry reads, my books on publishing that are on my to-be-read shelf. So I am currently reading the Author in Progress, which was the first one that I talked about, and I'm also reading the Insider's Guide to Publishing. So after I'm done with those two, I'm going to put a review of these two in particular up. But let me know which other book you are interested in seeing a review about. And I am also going to be doing another to be read shelf for my books on writing and blogging. So if you are interested in those, leave me a comment, give me a like, maybe even subscribe.